Hello, welcome back to Jamaica Folklore Animated. In the rugged, mist-covered mountains of eastern Jamaica, where the wind sings through bamboo and the rivers flow with ancient secrets, there lived a woman whose name would echo through centuries, a woman whose courage shaped the destiny of a people. Her name was Nanny of the Maroons. Freedom fighter, spiritual leader, military strategist, a national hero whose story rises from resistance, rebellion, and unbreakable faith. This is the story of the woman who refused to bow, the woman who fought empire, the woman who became legend.
To understand Nanny, we must begin in West Africa, among the Ashanti people of the Akan tribal nations. Many historians believe she was born in the late 1600s, a time when Ashanti women were trained not only in domestic roles, but in warfare, strategy, spiritual leadership, and community defense. Captured by slave traders, Nanny arrived in Jamaica during the height of British colonial expansion. But she did not come empty. She carried with her memories of a proud warrior culture and a burning desire for freedom. On the plantations of Jamaica, Nanny witnessed brutality, families broken, people whipped, culture attacked. Yet she also witnessed something else, the unshakable will of Africans who refused to die in chains. Among them were those who escaped into the mountains. These escapees formed independent communities, later known as Maroons, masters of guerrilla warfare and guardians of African survival. Nanny would soon become their greatest leader. The Maroons created settlements deep inside Jamaica's mountainous interior, places nearly impossible for the British to penetrate. Thick forests, steep valleys, hidden pathways, rivers that roared like thunder. For enslaved Africans seeking freedom, these villages became sanctuaries. Nanny and her brothers, Akampong, Johnny, Cudjoe, and Quao, were among the early founders of what would become the most powerful Maroon territories. But Nanny's settlement, Nanny Town, stood apart. Perched high in the Blue Mountains, surrounded by cliffs and secret trails, it was said to be protected by both natural forces and spiritual power. Nanny was not only the queen of this settlement, she was the heartbeat. Nanny's leadership was unlike anything the British had ever seen. She was a warrior, yes, but she was also a high priestess, trained in the rituals and spiritual practices of her homeland. The Maroons believed she possessed supernatural abilities, the power to foresee enemy movements, the ability to communicate with the ancestors, wisdom to interpret dreams and signs in nature, fearlessness that inspired warriors to stand against impossible odds. Stories say Nanny would stand on a cliff, blowing the abeng, a horn carved from a cow's horn, sending signals across miles of mountain terrain. With its call, she could summon warriors instantly. But there was something even more mysterious. Legends claim Nanny had the spiritual ability to catch bullets. Whether literal or symbolic, one thing is certain: the British feared her. By the early 1700s, the Maroons were a major threat to British control in Jamaica. Plantation owners were losing profit, and British soldiers struggled to capture Maroon fighters who knew the mountains better than any map. Nanny led her warriors with genius-level strategy. Ambush attacks, camouflage using leaves and mud, decoys and traps, night raids, silent communication, spiritual warfare rituals before battle. The British, frustrated and humiliated, sent expedition after expedition into the mountains. But Nanny was always one step ahead. Her warriors would strike swiftly, then disappear into the forest like shadows. At night, the British swore they heard drumming in the hills, rhythms of rebellion that strengthened the spirits of the Maroons. For decades, Nanny Town remained undefeated. Nanny's resistance reached its peak in the 1730s. The British intensified their attacks, burning villages, capturing Maroons, and using African trackers to hunt them. Yet Nanny refused to surrender. She taught her people that freedom was worth dying for. She reminded them of Africa, of ancestors, of dignity robbed and dignity restored. The Maroons became more than warriors. They became a symbol of Black resistance across the Caribbean. But the war came with a price. lives lost, villages destroyed, hunger and hardship. Still, Nanny fought on. Historical records and oral traditions differ about Nanny's final battle. One version says she was killed by a British bullet sometime around 1733. Another claims she lived beyond the war, continuing to guide her people spiritually. The Maroons say the British never truly defeated Nanny because a legend cannot die. Regardless of how her life ended, one truth stands firm. Her leadership helped pave the way for a treaty between the Maroons and the British in 1740. This treaty granted land and some level of autonomy to the Maroons, an unprecedented victory. Nanny's legacy lived on in every step of that triumph. Today, Nanny of the Maroons stands as one of Jamaica's greatest heroes. Her face is on the Jamaican $500 bill. Her name is honored every National Heroes Day. Her story is taught across schools, universities, and cultural institutions. In Moortown, where her descendants still live, her spirit is revered. She represents courage. She represents resistance. She represents the unbreakable spirit of a people who refuse to be enslaved. Nanny remains a symbol of Black pride, womanhood, leadership, and spiritual resilience. When the wind moves through Jamaica's Blue Mountains, some say you can still hear the echo of the obeying, calling warriors to stand, to rise, and to remember. Nanny of the Maroons was not just a fighter. She was a mother, a protector, a visionary, a woman who united her people and defied an empire. Her story is more than history. It is inheritance, an inheritance of strength, of freedom, of identity. This is her legacy. This is Nanny of the Maroons. Thank you for watching. Please to like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more of Jamaican's history. Turn on your notification bell to get notified when the next content is posted. Until next time, walk good.